Hey y'all, welcome back to the Daily AMG and happy International Women's Day. Woo! I am bringing you a recommendations video today in celebration. These will all be, for the most part, either female authors or strong female protagonists. I know you're thinking, I just sat through a 20-something minute video watching your February wrap-up. I'm not prepared to do that again. I mean, I like you, but I'm not doing that again. This won't take forever, and this is broke down into sections: children's, fiction, nonfiction, and then my personal TBR also, along with some books that are coming in the next few months. So, I love to recommend books, and I am someone, luckily, I love it, that a lot of people do ask, what are you currently reading, or what did you just read, or what was the last thing you read that you would recommend? And sometimes what I say at the times that they ask, it doesn't spark an interest. So I'm going to be doing some recommendation videos on specific subjects, and that way I can include a lot of books, a wide variety of books that I've read, so that maybe something within that sparks an interest depending upon the subject, the content, the author. So yeah, so let's get started. So like I said, I have children's, fiction, nonfiction, and then my own personal TBR. So let's start with children's. So if you did sit through my entire February wrap-up, you deserve a trophy, first of all. But second of all, you'll know that I said that I had not yet finished Matilda. I have since finished Matilda, and it was even more wonderful as an adult. Because as a child, and I can't remember the age that I read it, I'm thinking that I was probably in maybe 4th or 5th grade. So I was definitely older than Matilda, and to me, I loved that this was a little girl who loved to read, and she pulled off these things, and she had, the magical realism aspect of it. I always loved anything that had a little bit of magic in it, and as an adult, I cried. I was just like, wow. So it's definitely something that you could read aloud to your children, and I just cannot wait to have kids, and I am going to make sure that they're readers. I want a little Matilda. No, if they're not readers, it's okay, but I'm going to try real hard. And then the next book I have to recommend is A Wrinkle in Time, which comes out tomorrow. I cannot wait. Oh my gosh. Best cast ever. I cannot wait. Around this same time, I remember reading Amber Brown. There's a whole Amber Brown series. I specifically remember Amber Brown is not a crayon. Of course, Nancy Drew. Always Nancy Drew. The Babysitter's Book Club. I know we've talked about those before, but those are just further recommendations from me if you have little ones that are getting into chapter books and they want something that you feel good about them reading also because it's nostalgic to you. I love nostalgia factors, especially when it comes to books, and I think that that's a really sweet way for parents and children to connect when it's one of your favorite books that you are reading to your children. Or just invite me over and I'll read to your children in the meantime. Okay, so moving on to fiction. So I have quite a few fiction books because I want to give you a pretty wide range depending upon what you like to read. Start with like popular fiction. So Big Little Lies. Liane Moriarty can do no wrong. She absolutely cannot do any wrong. And sorry, I mess with my hair too much. I know. The comments haven't started because there's only like 8 of y'all watching this, and y'all probably all know me and know that she hates her hair, doesn't know what to do with her hair. It's not in my wheelhouse at all. So yes, I play with it a lot, especially because I'm using my laptop. Y'all don't need to know all this. back to the books. Okay, so Leanne Moriarty, Big Little Lies. You've seen it everywhere. If you haven't picked it up, it's worth all of the hype. Every single last drop. It's worth all of the hype. It is fantastic. Can we just do like a tally of how many times I say fantastic in this? This is about mothers at a primary school in Australia, which just sounds amazing. In general, just, yes, please, sign me up. I need to be there. Then it goes down at school. There's a bullying issue, and one of the parents, a new parent, is targeted. And the best thing about all of Leanne Moriarty's books really is her depiction of female friendships is outstanding. She has such a clear and concise voice for each of them, and her stories just, they'll get you. She's fantastic in and of herself, all the things that she does. So far, I've read everything that she has written, and she hasn't disappointed me, and I'm like, where's the next book? Sorry, I'm kind of surrounded by books right now. Oh, what a problem to have. No. Okay. Where'd you go, Bernadette? If you haven't picked this one up, again, I think I'm not going to say that for all of these, because if you haven't picked any of these up, I'm recommending that you do so. That's why you're here. That's why you're watching this. So this is about a mother that goes missing, and her daughter connects all of the dots to find her. Also in Antarctica. Like you needed, what else do you need from me? It's hilarious. It's sad. Antarctica. Mother-daughter relationships. Yep. That is at the top of like all the lists. I absolutely adore it. Another super popular book, Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. This was my book club's January pick, and I devoured it, loved it, tabbed it, all the things. This is, again, mother-daughter relationships on different levels, and it also is female-female relationships and friendships and allies. It is really remarkable. I love her writing style. I haven't picked up her other book, and I've heard mixed reviews about it. Everything I Never Told You, I think is what it's called. I haven't picked it up. So tell me below if you've read that and you also have read Little Fires Everywhere. I would love to know what you thought about both of those. Like, I really want to know. Okay, so on to maybe not as popular books. One book that absolutely should be like is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Can I just say, this one is signed because, and I'll insert a picture, but I dressed up as Evelyn Hugo for Halloween for my book club's Halloween party. We did a costume party where you dress up as literary characters, and it was absolutely amazing, and we will do it for the end of time. Like, we will be like living it up Golden Girl style, still having our book club, dressing up as old ass characters with our walkers and our, dentures. Bring it on. Wait, hang on. I didn't tell you about the book. And now my stack is falling. Oi. Hang on. Oh, this is not good. Ugh. Problems. Okay, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, now that I've like humble bragged that mine is signed. This book, I'm going to start a lot of things. Truly, this was one of the most remarkable books I read in 2017. It was my favorite book of 2017, and it has stuck with me ever since. It will always be something that I recommend If you love, okay, so this goes, if you love historical fiction, if you love old Hollywood, because you can definitely pinpoint some of the relationships who she's kind of basing things off of, which is, to me, it was like a game. Like, I loved that aspect of it. And so you have Evelyn Hugo. She was married 7 times, and she is now writing a memoir. And she specifically calls a pretty unknown journalist from a major magazine and says, it has to be you, I want it to be you, or I'm not doing this. So of course, you know, her boss is like, yeah, and get a cover story, get her on our magazine, hello, hello, hello. With every husband, so many secrets spill out, and it is phenomenal. So you have present day dealing with Monique, the journalist, and her life. She's recently divorced. You have Evelyn Hugo, who is in the last years of her life, and she's reminiscing on the good, the bad, and the ugly. Perfect. It's so perfect. So pick that up. Okay, the next book that I have is called Sweet Bitter by Stephanie Danler, and this takes place in New York City. Of course, you knew it was going to come in there at some point. This follows Tess. This is a coming-of-age story. Tess leaves her small town, heads to New York City, and starts working at one of the most exclusive premier restaurants. A page turner for sure, and you will devour it. I devoured it and then devoured it again. The behind the scenes, I was never a waitress or a hostess or anything. I've never worked at a restaurant at all, period. And so this was very eye-opening to me. I've seen like TV shows like Anthony Bourdain or Pump Rules, those kinds of things. I mean, if you're a fan of that, this is definitely, put this on your list. It does not disappoint. Okay, the next one is the first in a trilogy, A Discovery of Witches. Anyway, so you have Diana Bishop, and she is a witch, but she does not know that she is a witch until she unearths a spell book that has been kept sealed for a very long time. And once she opens it accidentally, she didn't mean to, all heck breaks loose, and she befriends a vampire, Matthew, and this is basically her journey of discovering that she's a witch, the whole new world that opens up to her. This has, I don't know if I should, I don't want to give my thing away. Anyways, there's this one, and there's 2 more, because I just said it was a trilogy. Ghosts and goblins and vampires and witches and all the things. All the things. I definitely wanted to have this as a recommendation because Diana Bishop is a kick-ass witch. The next 4 that I have here are nonfiction. So I'm going to start with like uber-duper popular and then go into my 2 favorite women. So first and foremost, Wild by Cheryl Strayed. If you haven't yet picked this up, just turn this off and go read it. Don't watch the movie, or even if you've watched the movie, read this. It is life-changing. It has sparked so many, like, oh my gosh, I need to get over myself and get a real problem situations, because this is truly remarkable that this woman packed up and said, I'm hiking this thing. I am hiking the Pacific Coast Trail. I don't care how long it takes me, how many toes I lose, how many period sponges I gotta have. I'm telling you, you think you have a problem? No. No. Talk to me when you've been in the wilderness forever, okay? This was outstanding. And again, total huge hype. Warranted. Definitely, definitely, definitely deserved. Next is Leah Remini's Troublemaker. If you haven't read this one yet, pick it up, right now. Do the audio because she is the narrator and her voice is just amazing. And like for like a week after, I was like talking in a Brooklyn accent. But like, you know, she is everything. And why can't my hair look like this, Leah? She's like, it can, darling. Look at that. We kind of look alike, huh? I can't do the Mona Lisa smile. I want to, just can't. If you don't know what this is about, I feel like everybody knows what this is about. Basically, Leah Remini was a Scientologist. She totally shot the freaking lid off of Scientology about time. And she is just incredible. This is an incredible story. This is a story that you will just be in utter shock and awe about the things that she went through, the way that they get these people. Oh my gosh. Say no to cults. Okay. Also a t-shirt idea. Okay, so next up I have Church of the Small Things by Melanie Shankle. Melanie Shankle, this is a memoir. This is basically about just finding joy and happiness in the Lord in all of the small things. And I would absolutely be remiss if I didn't include this in this, because she is a strong female voice in my life. I love Melanie. If you don't know anything about Melanie, she's a Texas girl like me. She went to Texas A&M. This is her 4th book. She has a book, Sparkly Green Earrings, and that is a memoir on motherhood. She has Antelope in the Living Room, which is a memoir on marriage. And then she has Nobody's Cuter Than You, which is a memoir on female friendships, which I also highly, highly, highly recommend if you are specifically looking for books, excuse me, relating to women and relationships. Yeah, like female relationships. Yeah, female relationships. So, and she's hysterical. She is absolutely hysterical. So you'll just be laughing your tail end off. And if you can also get these on audio, she narrates all 4 of them also. And it's just that much more delightful, truly. Okay, the next one is this is the last book that I picked up on this author. I mean, it's interviews, but I was going to dig around and grab other things, but I haven't. But of course, I mean, talk about being remiss. If I didn't include Nora in this, Queen Nora, what am I doing with my life? So this is Nora Ephron, The Last Interview, and it actually does have other conversations. I will do an entire video on Nora Ephron and why and how she's touched my life so deeply. This is like the perfect little, I'm sure you can, I got this at her bookshop in Nashville when we were there a few weeks ago. And I had never even seen these The Last Interviews. They have a ton of them with a ton of different authors and influencers. But Nora has written a couple memoirs. You also know her as the writer and director of Sleepless in Seattle, When Harry Met Sally, You've Got Mail, Michael. Yeah, that's the one with John Travolta as an angel. Yeah, you're thinking correctly. So yeah, I will do a whole thing on Nora because she's just absolutely shaped my adulthood. But here are a few that I have on my TBR. So the next one that I definitely want to pick up is Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine. I have heard amazing things about this, so let me know below if you also have. From what I can tell, it deals with maybe mental illness and loss and triumph, which just sounds incredible, 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 and I'm so there for that. Book that I want to get, and it came out in February, and I have an ARC of, so I really need to get to it, is called Text Me When You Get Home. this is about female friendships, which who hasn't heard your girlfriend say that? Hey, text me when you get home. And so I'm really excited because I absolutely love my girlfriends and I love books on female friendships. There's just no truer friendship than a female friendship or your gal pals. I mean, you know what I mean? I hope you do. I hope you have that in your life. It's amazing. So also Girls Burn Brighter. That one came out Tuesday. The Witch Doesn't Burn in this one, which is the second in the Women Are Some Kind of Magic poetry collection that I read the first one in February. The second one came out today, and I will probably read it when I get through editing this, because now it's telling me I'm at 30 minutes. Code Girls. This came out last year, and I've had the arc of it, and I feel so bad because I did not finish it before it came out. Another one that's coming out soon is called Big Bones, and it's a YA, a body positive book that I have heard rave reviews on, so I cannot wait to read that. And then another one that comes out in June is called Sex and the City and Us. And it is a nonfiction about how Sex and the City, the HBO series, are girls. Also, leave me below what character you are. I'm a Carrie. Basically, this goes into how that series shaped women, shaped America, shaped the world. Truly, I mean, it's one of those series where it was so much more than a series. That touched people's lives in a million different ways. The magnitude was mammoth. So yeah, so those are my recommendations to you. If you've read any of these, let me know in the comments below. If you do pick one up and you read it, let me know how you liked it. I'll definitely be doing more of these recommendations videos because this is truly where my heart lies. I want to get books in the hands of the masses. I can only do that by opening up my mouth. Aren't y'all glad? Thank y'all so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!